everyone, a very warm welcome to GM Online Media presents India's Finest Educators Season 2. You're with me, Gitanjali, and today we have come to one of the finest and newest IIMs at IIM Sambalpur, Burla, Odisha. Come, let's take you on a quick tour around the institute. The campus of IIM Sambalpur is operating in state-of-the-art structures at the Jyoti Vihar, Burla. The campus, set in picturesque surroundings and nestled in Bara Pahar, is located at one end of Hirakud Dam. The campus is surrounded by major corporations which provide real-life experiential learning opportunities for IIM Sambalpur students. The Wi-Fi enabled campus houses the academic building, classrooms, hostels and the auditorium, as well as the library, which has a large collection of physical and digital resources such as books and e-books, case studies and other materials to help the students in their quest for knowledge and education. IIM Sambalpur is easily accessible by rail, road and air from Bhubaneswar and Raipur. Also, the connectivity is as excellent as it gets with the freshly built Biju Expressway. So today we have come to IIM Sambalpur to understand what makes it one of the best B schools in the country and the DNA that runs through its culture. In today's competitive world, IIM Sambalpur has risen to the challenge of making a difference through action-centric research, value-based consultancy, and experiential learning methodology. IIM Sambalpur's expertise and beliefs strive to create professional business acumen while also making its students dynamic human beings and proud citizens. So today we are joined by none other than the director of IIM Sambalpur, Professor Mahadev Jaiswal, who will take us behind the scenes and tell us about the unique direction the institute has taken since its inception. So welcome to the show, Professor Jaiswal.
Thank you.
Professor Jaiswal, let's start with the ideologies of IIM Sambalpur. What is the vision, the mission, and what are the core values of IIM Sambalpur?
This institute is a new IIM. It's part of the third generation IIM, set up by Government of India in 2015. I joined as a founding director in 2017. The foremost task for me that time was to set the vision of this institute. In order to articulate the vision, we carried out the gap in management educations and management practices in India as well as worldwide. So what we figured out that India, despite having the best talent, best human resource and best natural resource, is still a developing country. One of the reasons which we discovered was that India lacks entrepreneurial capacity. In order to understand the gap in management worldwide, in the developed part of the world, what we found is, of course, developed part is very well in capacity in terms of entrepreneurship. They are also very high in profits, but they lack in sustainability. So in order to integrate both the gaps, we came out with our vision, and the vision becomes the Institute of par excellence in nurturing responsible leader with entrepreneurial mindset. It means it captured both the gaps, India as well as global developed part of the world. In order to create our core operating values, what we figured out is that most of the business schools in India lacks 3 I's. The first I is innovation. In terms of innovation index, many of the B schools, most of the B schools were lagging behind compared to the developed part of the world. In terms of inclusiveness, particularly gender, again we were poor, and there were a lot of doubts in terms of integrity, in terms of our valuations, exams, etc. So we decided to operate around 3 I's, that is innovation, integrity and inclusiveness. And this has been derived from the Indian methodology, that innovation is a symbol of Brahma, integrity is a symbol of Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, and inclusiveness is a symbol of Lord Shiva, which is a very inclusive God. So it has a very spiritual connect with our core operating values. Then third thing was mission. We had 3 broad missions. The first mission is to create knowledge in collaboration with global institutions and impactful research. The second mission is to disseminate knowledge using disruptive pedagogies. And third mission is to collaborate with industry, government and society and also with academy worldwide in order to build the entrepreneurial capacity of our country.
So India is doing great on the entrepreneurial front, and we're ranked third in the world when it comes to thriving startup ecosystem. So share some information on IIM Sambalpur's focus on and contribution to the already robust startup ecosystem in India.
Yeah, so in order to answer your questions, I would like to give small background about the changes whole world is witnessing right now. This is called disruptive change. There are three key drivers to this disruptive change. The first is digitalization is happening all across the world, all across organizations, including institutions. The second is worldwide there is a discussion about sustainability. That disruption is called disruption due to decarbonizations. And third is called democratization of business. That is what the startups and innovations are being talked about. Now, if you see Indian conditions, India, digitalization is already one of the top countries in the world because we have been providing digital services to the whole world, and therefore we have capacity to digitalize ourselves. In terms of our decarbonizations, and India is talking about that zero carbons by 2070 or 2030. Third is disruption due to democratization of business. That is where the startups culture is coming worldwide. And India has become the world's third largest ecosystems as we have more than 80 plus unicorns and more than 60,000 startups are registered right now. And we have strong support from our Prime Ministers. He is also talking about the startup culture. Now, in order to align with this change, IIM Sambalpur is very much focused in terms of creating incubations. Our major focus of entire education is to create business, not just manage business. And therefore, in a very early stage, in 2020 itself, we created Incubation Center, and more than 9 incubators are being incubated right now. And we have a plan to incubate many companies, many startups countrywide. And therefore, we are very much aligned with this change, and I'm sure most of the B school in India will be taking the same directions. And the focus of education will shift from managing to creating business. And that is where I think IIM Sambalpur is very much aligned with this.
So we already know that the institute is a big advocate of gender diversity. So in your view, what has been done on the campus grounds, and what more can we expect from the institute when it comes to gender diversity on the campus?
Yeah, very right that we have seen prior to 2017, the gender diversity in most of the B school in India used to be fairly low, about 10 to 15% or 20%, and it was also low at IIM Sambalpur. So we came out with a policy change in our admission policy in 2019 admissions, and we said that 5% cutoff should be reduced for the genders, for the female candidates, but it should be combined merit, there is no reservations. And with that change, our 2019 MBA admissions was with highest gender diversity, that is more than 50% female joined in MBA program, and that made a change across the country. And today you can see in all the top schools and other institutes in other IIMs, we have a very high ratio of gender diversity. And in order to take it further, because one is that they are participating in our MBA programs, we have to also see that they are also reaching the leadership positions, that the top corporates and government boards must comprise at least 40% to 50% female. So those are the lines in which we are also taking, and I am sure this change will drive India, because women force once comes equal, then also the economic development and social development will happen in India. And I am sure IIM Sambalpur is a pioneer in coming out with the gender diversity, because it's part of our innovation and inclusiveness policies.
So now let's talk about the future, but first take a look at the recent past and present. COVID-19 has changed the dynamics across all industries, including education. So how hard or easy was it to pivot the entire educational model of the institute?
COVID has been an accelerator, I would say. It has been also disruptor. It has created more innovation. In fact, we were able to take advantage of COVID. We did not stop our educations, it continued in a digital mode. But first, I have 3-stage model on this. The stage 1 is to adopt the digitalizations along with disruptive learning pedagogy. So we introduced a concept called flipped classroom as part of our digitalization strategy, where students learn basic concepts online themselves, and inside the class we bring the live project from industry so that unsolved problems get solved in the class. That's how the first stage model of education should be. And now coming to New Education Policy 2020, NEP 2020, which Government of India has brought recently. In order to implement that, what we need to do is we can disintegrate our three components of education. The three components, that is, first is learning, the second is examination, that is evaluation, and third is certification, that's called degree. I don't think we all should do, every institute should do all three together. Let students have freedom to learn from anywhere, whether in IIM, whether IIT, whether university, whether MIT, whether Harvard. They can take courses, some courses here, some courses there. In terms of evaluation, can be done by third parties, and in terms of certifications, can be combined, partly here and partly there. So you can have a joint degree of IIT, IIM, you can have a joint degree of IIM and Harvard, you can have a joint degree of IIM, IIT and MIT. So this is how I think we should get into the complete disruption in terms of disintegrating our entire three components of education using the digitalizations which is happening worldwide. Stage 3, and that is where we should also integrate our institute with global institutes in terms of all these three components, and that is called complete democratization of education should happen. Every student of any corner should be able to access the same quality of resource, same quality of education without any discrimination, without any kind of constraints of the resource. And that is what is possible when you have a proper digitalization strategy. I am sure India is going to take lead in terms of coming out with completely democratized education in the next 5 to 10 years, the way the Government of India and NEP 2020 is talking about. And IIM Sambalpur has already started adopting this. We were the first institute in India to implement flipped classroom as part of our digital strategies, and we are also evaluating that how we can integrate our educations across the world in terms of democratizing the business education.
And what about student activities? I'm sure it must have had an impact on the moral somehow. So how did the faculty help students cope with the new normal?
So in order to see the student activities in the COVID period, initially yes, there was concern that what will happen to the physical activities, but fortunately we did not stop anything. All the student activity went ahead as per the schedule. It went in a blended mode. All the activity of various clubs of students carried out various seminars, but it was in blended mode, sometimes online mode. And in between we also started calling students, and whenever the problem comes they again go back. So we have been adopting the blended and hybrid model, and I think that is where the future is. We should carry out this model. We should not think that the old model will come back. There are a lot of advantage of digital and a lot of advantage of hybrid, and I am sure because of this we could get a lot of good quality input from industries in our classrooms, because in online mode it was easy to bring them in the class and from anywhere in the world. A lot of faculty members who are teaching here are also coming from many other institutes in the world.
Is it true that IIM Sambalpur has achieved 100% placement with increasing recruiters across sectors in its flagship MBA program? And has there been any effect of COVID-19 on the placement rise in the campus?
In fact, we were very worried about this. The placement might suffer in the COVID. But fortunately what we saw, because we are located in a remote place, so there was a difficulty of visit by the industry stalwarts in terms of recruitment and placement here. But since everywhere the placement started happening online mode, and therefore that gave advantage to IIM Sambalpur. And this year, even in last year, December became in December itself we completed 100% placement. And with the higher salaries, with the better quality of companies, better offers, more than 100 companies visited our campus online this year, and more than 150 students have all been placed, not a single opt-out this year. And even the last year we got 100% placement with few opt-out situation, but this year has been a phenomenal scenario of the placement. I am sure economy is recovered, and I am sure IIM Sambalpur brand has also helped in terms of attracting the best companies of our country and multinationals, and I am sure this will continue. And so in terms of COVID impact, I think it's more positive in terms of placement, at least for our institute.
So Professor Jaiswal, what are some of the select programs offered by IIM Sambalpur and their USP?
Yeah, so one program which is common across IIM is MBA programs, which is a flagship programs, which admission happens with CAT and common admission test, which of course is the main program. Apart from this, we were the very early stage, we started our PhD program within the 3 years of our inceptions. Executive PhD program for the working professional, we started very early stage, the third batch is running right now. So these two programs are research program because we are highly focused on research, so we thought let's start the research program as early as possible. Then we also started last year executive MBA programs, which is again very successful. More than 55 participants at the level of managing director, vice president and senior executives from all over the world. In fact, few participants from Germany also are participating in our executive MBA program. It's a very big success in terms of attracting the best talent in terms of our executive program, executive MBA program, it's a degree program, which is running in the blended mode. Then we also started, apart from many certification, we also started as incubation programs and also business leadership program with SME Forum, Mumbai, which again have 15 incubators are going through our leadership program, went through our leadership program last year. And apart from this, we have large number of executive development programs, research centers and many other activities, which any B schools, it takes about 10 to 15 years. We completed it in the 5 years time.
So any international affiliations and exchange programs in the current scenario that the current and potential students can look forward to?
So we have the largest number of international partners. About right now we have signed MOU with 11 international universities and 7 industries in India, where students can go as a part of exchange program. Faculty also exchange can go, but right now because of COVID it's happening online mode. But these universities are located in different continents, like we have US, you have North Africa, we have Taiwan, we have Europe, South America, and so that way we have diversified collaborations in terms of our international partners, and these programs is going to further grow. I'm sure coming years we have a plan to increase up to the 50 international partners, and there will be joint degree programs very soon with those partners.
At the time of laying a foundation stone of IIM Sambalpur permanent campus, Pradhan Mantri Narendra Modi said that innovation, integrity and inclusion have emerged as the key mantras in the field of management that can help India achieve its goal of Atmanirbhar Bharat. So what all has been done and what more can be done at the campus of IIM Sambalpur?
Absolutely. So on 2nd January 2021, our Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji laid the foundation stone of our permanent campus in virtual mode. And it was a great honor for the institute, for this state, for this city. We are becoming the building blocks for the nation's building, and the nation should be built around innovation, integrity and inclusiveness. And in that same line, IIM Sambalpur has already started working. As part of innovations, we already have a lot of startups who are working with us. We were the first institute to sign MOU with Flipkart to help the ground level workers and ground level entrepreneurs, grassroots workers, as part of our inclusiveness. As part of integrity, we want to maintain complete compliance to our audit, CAG, as well as board, as well as government. And so far we have been maintaining, and we would like to maintain compliances. And we also want our students, faculty and our stakeholders to have these 3 characteristics. We had made it mandatory for each students and faculty that they'll have to work at least one project with underprivileged and underprivileged section of the society, and they have to also digitalize and help those schools and colleges we don't have access to those kind of resources. So it's part of these 3 I's. IIM Sambalpur is very much in actions, and I'm sure this will create a new value propositions in coming times.
So today we are here at IIM Sambalpur in Odisha, and as promised, now let's look at a few milestones achieved by the institute in the past few years. In recently published India's top B schools rankings, IIM Sambalpur has been ranked 18th amongst the government institutes in 2022. While in the MBA Universe 2022 ranking, IIM Sambalpur has been ranked 2nd amongst the new IIMs consistently. IIM Sambalpur is also ranked 1st across India and is positioned in the HEI of Eminence, which recognizes the efforts continuously undertaken by institutions for achieving excellence in quality education.
There are many ranking agencies, and we are participating in most of the rankings, and we are consistently doing good, particularly including NIRF, and recently published Business World as well as MBA Universe ranking.
Better rankings means better placement opportunities for the students. And the placement season brings the PGP participants' 2-year journey at IIM Sambalpur to a close.
IIM Sambalpur has set up a business incubation center in February of 2020 with the collaboration of Ministry of MSME. We also have a collaboration with the India SME Forum, and we have a strong mentor pool as part of this incubation center who help startups to network further, to support their ideas and to reach out to organizations for further funding so that they are able to grow successfully. So far, we have about 7 startups whom we have started incubating. We provide the necessary training to them. We provide the network. If they need any kind of infrastructure, we do that as part of our incubation center. This also gives a platform to the students to realize their entrepreneurial visions. And with this, we think we will be able to grow further, bring in more and more startups, incubate them, and thus contribute to the ecosystem of startups in the country.
So with regards to the industry, academia and student interaction, first of all, I think we are very happy and feel blessed that we are right in the middle of India's, I would say, largest mine and metal corridor actually. And we derive a lot of value from this, from this presence, and we engage our students in a very live manner, I would say. So there's a two ways. I would say there's a two-side or two-way street actually. While we as faculty also get a lot of value from interacting with this industry. Industry also derive a lot of values from associating with the institute actually. So I would say that's a fairly very blessed position amongst all the IIMs, I would say.
Students at IIM Sambalpur spend their leisure time playing cricket, badminton and table tennis, and also host several activities to facilitate their overall development in collaboration with the institute authorities.
Students' community is quite vibrant at IIM Sambalpur, and we have 7 technical clubs, 6 non-technical clubs and about 12 committees. So each technical club and the non-technical club, they are organizing some or the other event almost every weekend.
Culture at IIM Sambalpur is inclusive and holistic in nature. It is very open, that provides an opportunity to interact with everybody in an optimistic manner. The values and the ethos is depicted in every celebration where everybody comes together as a family.
Let me first tell you that for a PhD program, we always take a high blend mind of research-oriented applicants at IIM Sambalpur. So generally, the applicants are being taken by the selection process, which is either through CAT, GRE, GMAT or GRF. But we have certain candidates which have missed out these particular tests. Now what? Can we leave them? We shouldn't. So for that matter of fact, we are having our IIM aptitude test, which we call it as Indian Institute of Management Research Aptitude Test. Let me also share that in PGP courses, we have bought live industry project, and live industry projects have been bought in various areas like marketing, OB and HR, and into IS. So from various companies like Bata in marketing, we have given live industry project to students. From Reliance, we have given in OB HR area, and from SARC Robotics also we have given in marketing area.
So this was the story of life, culture and opportunities at IIM Sambalpur. For those of you preparing to join a B school after school, IIM Sambalpur has to offer unique and wholesome opportunities, while also preparing you to stand among the best. With this, I hope you liked this episode of GM Online Media Presents India's Finest Educators Season 2. Thank you for watching.